Miami. Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami. Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat postgame show after what feels like the first good team the Heat have beaten in 2026. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today to talk about the Heat's big, and I mean big win against the Houston Rockets is Kay. What's up, Kay?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm legit fired up.
Day.
I legit
It's
care.
a great day. It's a great
I was
day.
Omar today, dog. I'm happy.
To watch the Miami Heat team win. I mean, I'm happy too, man. Especially after seeing all the comments and everything everybody has said from the team, past, present, those guys. It's great to see them respond, especially on the primetime game where, the majority of the NBA world or the NBA fans were watching because, hey, it was the only game on in a window where, the Charlotte Hornets, I want to say, got a win, who are trekking on, right on their heels and playing territory, which nobody wants to be. So it's just good to do all of those things, on a day where you really don't like talking basketball anyway, Friday or Saturday. But here we are after a Heat win, which makes it sweet.
A win that I feel good about, a win that I enjoyed watching, probably one of the games this season that I've enjoyed watching the most. And this stream wouldn't start without the super chat from CM200.1. Says, Pell is relentless. Bam and Ware combined for 37 points and 26 rebounds and close together that two big lineup to close out that fourth quarter. Tyler still gets buckets. Wiggins came up big late. Jaime, sixth man of the year. Defense turned up late. Didn't spam threes in clutch time. Couldn't have said it better myself. CM, the homie from Australia, who I don't know if this was a better time for you to watch a game or not. Regardless, the true Heat faithful. Thundercat in chat says, fuck KDF, but bless him for calling Tyler a bleep to his face. Listen, big day for Kevin Durant's investments, I guess. He's losing on the court and in the public eye. So big fuck you to Kevin Durant for warmongering. Back to basketball. I joked. That's okay. We're gonna open the show with geopolitical talk. It'll be basketball instead. Okay, honestly, truly one of the best wins that they've had this season. And I actually want to talk about the game. Like, I don't want to talk about big picture shit today. I want to talk about the actual fucking game, because late in that game, a couple interesting things were going on. Miami went Wiggins as a primary ball handler, which I thought was interesting. I thought Wiggins as a primary ball handler was a little different. It wasn't Tyler kind of spent, which I think makes their double big lineups work a little better when you have a wing handling and you have some extra ball handlers, so that when you do kick the ball out, like there was a moment where they ran a pick and roll. Houston defended it well after Miami had scored, I think, 3 straight times on Wiggins Ware pick and roll. The third time, they're ready. They swing the ball to Mitchell, and now they have a ball handler on the perimeter who's not being the trigger man, who's not doing anything, who's now can attack a shifted defense. Or they had Fontecchio in the third in the first half. They had kind of him with Yakuchonis and Wiggins all playing together. So I think that they're finding ways to unlock this two big lineup. And to me, you kind of saw that evolve throughout the game. And I think that's the most important thing we could take from tonight.
I mean, I would agree. It has to be seen that they're going to continue to go to it consistently, which is always the thing you hope when you see something interesting or something that might seem like it might work. But I think what it does is, because you have to bring some of that help out to guard Wiggins, as opposed to just having him in the corner, always right in the immediate help side position where you could just sprint out to him from up under the rim or cheating back to the defense. When you bring that out and expand that defense out, I mean, you're pretty much creating a matchup right there where it's like, are you going to take the explosive attacking wing, or are you going to give the lob at the rim, or whatever comes after that? Because like you said, having that guy, the guy that can attack, off of those, if he kicks it out or if Kellel gets it and has to spray it out to that other guy that can attack. Like you said, it just creates so much natural leverage. And I think that's happening because the guy that's shown you he's springy, bouncy, and ready to get above the rim at all times now is the guy that's actually initiating the action instead of standing in the corner, letting all that motion go to waste.
I totally agree. And there was a play I think that really kicked off all of this in the fourth quarter, actually, which was the Miami calls a timeout. They come back after the timeout and they run this Wiggins wear lob. We actually have this play here. So if we run this, right, it's going to be Wiggins at the top of the key, coming out of the timeout, and Ware's going to come screen. So Şengün's there and drop. And it's a good screen. Ware rolls. Notice, and it's something I tweeted about. Miami's reincorporating the empty side, weak side corner. So there's nobody in that weak side to help. Bam's in the strong side dunker spot. So the help is not coming on the side of the lob. The guy on the wing is tagged to the shooter, Herro. The size is defending the action. It's a 3-4 pick and roll with some size with one guy in the paint. And where, they pressure the ball, Ware's able to get there. And that, to me, you saw everybody's there. Bam's in position. By the way, Houston's such a good physical offensive rebounding team. Let's run that back one more time and look at Bam. Bam's ready to kind of fight for an offensive rebound and make it tough for them. They're in the right spots and stuff like that. To me, Kay, that was kind of the storyline late in that fourth quarter. It's like, okay, we know that they've struggled late in games. We know that they've struggled in the clutch. Who's going to be the guy to bring them down the stretch? Who is it? Tyler? We've seen that he can and can do it. Is it a guy like Bam when he has it going and is aggressive? Is it a guy like Hawkes? Is it Norman Powell who did not play today? Who is that guy, right? And I thought today with the two bigs, it made sense it to be Wiggins. They ran a lot of pick and roll for him, which we've talked about on the show before. When rubber hits the road and they need scores at the end of games, they go to the pick and roll. Right, they can run their stuff all day, but at the end of the day, that's their way of, okay, we're slow, we're grinding, we need a different look. This is what we're gonna do. And Wiggins, primary ball handler at the end of that game. Maple Jordan a little back.
There's so much there, man. And I want to get into it all a little bit without being too wordy. So to your point about Andrew Wiggins, shout out to that man who took an elbow to the face. I wasn't late in the third.
Yeah, dude, culture.
Right, before he had to go get stitches in his face and come back out and still do what he was able to do. Now, to the point, and it was highlighted, especially in the clip you showed, this, and I want to be optimistic about it, but this is what I guess makes you fear that thing where you're like, okay, is this going to be something that we continue to see? It was the perfect offense against a defense that features Şengün. Because anytime you get him to leave the paint, he's not quick enough to recover against anything. So it's the perfect defense for a guy. So I just hope that we continue to go to it. That's the first thing. But then secondly, you said it, G. It's like the Miami Heat's offense is like a give it to you and let me go ISO. So I say that to say in the grand scheme of things, and I hate to say it because D-Wade was right, who are your three guys? And we want to imagine that's Bam, Tyler, and Norm if all things are equal. But we've seen over the course of this season that Spo is comfortable putting the ball in Wiggs' hands. Spo is comfortable putting the ball in Jaime's hands, to your point, as I mentioned. But today, what you saw was instead of it being a drive and spray for a Wiggs open three, or instead of it being, okay, we're going to flatten it out and let Wiggs go to work on his man from the top of the key or from the free throw line extended, we're going to put Wiggs in some action. And we're going to see what we can create off of that, which you also said having a bigger ball handler who can also do a lot of things unlocks the two bigs as far as how you can utilize them from the pick and roll. So like you said, Bam's positioning there as an offensive rebounder. And Bam also is the guy that's quick enough to reposition himself maybe at the top of that free throw line if need be in that action to make it all work. So it's just a situation where you hope they keep going to it. But a lot of the things work today, and Spo did make it a lot easier. So we should be appreciative of that.
Which, by the way, you mentioned that D-Wade asked on the pregame show, because D-Wade and Udonis Haslem were on the broadcast today for Amazon Prime. We're going to get into kind of the whole Amazon Prime presentation in a bit. But Dwayne did mention kind of, you alluded to, is who's their closing guys. And we actually have that clip here for you guys.
And it was the same question that I asked Tyler is, what's the closing? Who's going to close this these games. We're losing a lot of games because we have not been able to put teams away or close games. And so who's the guy that's going to be the closer? What's the package? Who's involved in it? When I see the Heat play, I see them play very well between 35 to 40 minutes because of their pace, because of their space, because of their offensive package that's supposed to put in. But when they get down to winning time, I need to see 2 or 3 guys that's in the mix that you know what they're going to do. And I don't get to see that with the Heat a lot.
I think he nailed it, and I think I think it's important to have a legend give you a little bit of tough love. You know what I mean? Like, ask those questions. And we have a clip that he sent to Bam, and we'll talk about that when we get into him. But I think that's important, and I'm glad that you brought it up. Chat says Pell had 20. Yeah, a very under the radar 20 points by Pell Larson, who is just fucking fantastic, dude. Everybody, I thought. Before we move off Wiggins, I want to ask you one thing defensively, K. How'd you feel he did on KD? Because KD had a really great game. Durant finished with 32, 5, and 8 on 12 of 20 shooting. Didn't shoot the ball well from 3, was 2 of 8, got to the line 6 times, only a single turnover. I thought they competed well on him. I thought Wiggins did a good job. They were doing this thing early in the game where, Miami was switching a lot, and I think they kind of did a better job of not conceding a switch so early. But when they did, like somebody who is big, like Bam, would come to give a late double on Durant, which I thought was kind of like interesting, and it worked, and I prefer that and some of their early help stuff. But I thought Wiggins did really good today. I was really impressed defensively, and it was one of, I think, his better defensive games, even though Durant certainly got his.
Look, man, this is what I say about Andrew Wiggins, especially this year with the Miami Heat, having a chance to watch him on a game in and game out basis. He's a lot better than I thought he was. And you don't appreciate the everything else about him, especially the defense, until you have a chance or until you're tortured enough to be a fan of the Miami Heat. But that's neither here nor there. But I said this to say he done a great job. And it's KD. I mean, let's be real. I mean, yeah, the man likes burner accounts, but he can also get buckets. So it's a situation where the Miami Heat showed him multiple bodies. You mentioned Bam, helping in, raking in, showing a face or whatever, trying to make him uncomfortable in some of those plays. But you noticed it from everybody, especially Davion. Anytime that he could get over their pail, anytime that they could get over there to try to bother him when he seemed to have an ISO in the spot, especially at the top of that free throw line, either corner. They did the best they could do. And then in the other times, like you said, where Andrew Wiggins was on him individually, he always made him take a tough shot. Like Kevin Durant made a bunch of tough shots in this game. But the key to that is they were tough shots. And that's all you can hope. Because in the end, he started missing a couple of them. You know what I mean? In the end,
and a lot of them were threes. And I thought they did a good job of not giving that up. And I thought part of that was not giving up the switch so easy. And I think part of that, I have to wonder if he's sticky when the screen comes, if he's like, is there late help? Like, do I have to, I felt he was a little more rushed on some of those threes than normal, the pull-ups. And I wonder if that's something in his head. And something to consider. I like Nikias. Shout out to Nikias, the homie in chat says, how'd you feel about the volume of zone? I think it's a great question, and I wanted to talk about this too, K, because I actually liked the way when they sprung their zone tonight. They had like an 8-point lead, I think, in the first half or something, or at some point they had like a lead, like a decent lead, and they went to zone after whatever their man was working. And I prefer them to go to their zone from a position of power rather than reactive, because I think their best defense is with Bam and when they switch. And I think when they play a lot of their kind of size on the wing, and when Mitchell's in the game, right, and they have a lot of guys who can help, who can defend, who can kind of guard their yard. And I think the zone, I've always been mixed with it, right? And I think we saw against the Sixers how I understood why they played Jaquez kind of at the top to meet Embiid there. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm kind of like very on the zone. I liked what I saw today. I liked the ways that they used it. I didn't mind the volume of it. But I prefer them to do it when they're up and they're trying to extend the lead, rather than when they're trying to get back into the game, or they're like, oh, I have no answers for X player. I hate when they use zone, because they're like, oh, well, this guy, like Maxi's kicking our ass, we have to go to zone. I feel like that is predictable. It's like you're waiting for it. I think if you're the opposing coach and you're the opposing player, you're just waiting for, you're looking out for it, right? Everybody knows I play competitive Smash. And in Melee, sometimes like I'm like, okay, I know this Fox is looking for run up smash. I know it, and I'm waiting because I know you want that shit more than anything in the world. And I'm waiting, and I'm sitting on it, and I'm sitting on it. And when you spring it, I'm ready. As opposed to when you're playing from a position of strength, you might get caught off guard by that, right? Because there was no need to do it, and I prefer it in that sense.
So there again, a lot to that question. I didn't mind the volume either because I feel like they always deploy it when they need it, and for the most part, it's successful. What I do appreciate about the whole thing is they've seemed to work on the rebounding out of the zone, because that's always been my issue. Because when they go to the zone, they kind of get accomplished what they want to get accomplished, whether that's fully getting themselves back in the game, fully tilting the game, or at least breaking up the momentum of the other team. It's just typically that offensive rebounding board. To your point, where you mentioned Houston's a good offensive boarding team, which is especially impressive. That offensive rebounding part usually kills them there. When it comes to the issue of when they deploy the zone, I can see what you're saying, and I don't mind that. As far as using it as a booby trap or a tactic of throwing you off, as opposed to like a desperation, life raft.
It's not a gimmick. It's like they use it as a gimmick, and I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's like you have a tool in the tool belt, like use it to throw people off, not to like make a fucking funhouse mirror maze,
And that's what I was about to get to, but they're actually so good at it when they do it that I guess they need to go there sometime if they need to stabilize or make a run. I agree with you, but that goes back to how I initially answered the question. It's a timing thing, and that's going to vary from game to game. You mentioned that Kevin Durant was off shooting the three. Asar, he's hold on. I get them confused. My bad. Which one is the Rockets? I'm in Asar. Forgive me out there. But but yeah, he struggled shooting the ball. Both of them struggle, but he struggled shooting the ball. Tari Eason really didn't get himself going until later in the game. And of course, like I said, Shingun is really going to operate in the paint for the most part. So you could go to it. I mean, when you wanted to, as early as you wanted to tonight, after you realize those things. Now, Reed Shepherd did kill you early on with some threes outside, but if he was going to be the one to beat you and they applied more pressure with Davion as that thing went on, trusting him with 2 fouls even at a point early in the game, I think that it's just about when you go to it as much as how much you're using. But your point withstands too. And we've seen it deploy both ways, which is why I don't think it's an issue. But like I said, I understand what you're saying.
I by the way, I think it's up, man. So the other thing,
okay, see, there we go.
The other,
I tell you what, I'll go excellence, and I'm not wrong.
Listen, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
Because they're both anyway. Whatever.
Another thing late before we kind of get into more player specific things is I like that they went at Reed Shepherd at the end there, and I thought it's so funny, Kate, because last show with Omar, I literally was saying how I hate when teams let guys off the hook, like when they're playing a guy that probably shouldn't be surviving defensively. And it's since Jimmy Butler's been gone, they have not really had they don't have guys that can just like attack them, like attack a certain matchup. And I kind of like that today they found ways to do it, right? They went at guys and they targeted, because they ran pick and roll, right? So they were targeting certain guys in pick and roll. They were going at certain matchups. They were configuring the geometry of the floor to go at Reed Shepherd. And I like that. And I thought their late game offense had purpose. And I think one of my issues with them as a whole this season is they're so directionless and listless late in games. And there's if Norman Powell is not balling the fuck out, or if like there's not like a clear guy that's like playing awesome, there's no hierarchical, like there's no plan. And I thought today there was a plan. I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run these actions and we're going to go at this guy. And if they take him off the floor, we're going to change our plan. And I like that. And I think that showed me a little something today that I haven't seen out of them, I'm not going to lie, in a while.
To your point, man, it just seemed like they're coming out there winging it. And you could use the last game where it's like, Tyler Herro did the same pull-up transition threes late in the game that he had done earlier in the game to kind of like illustrate that point. But as you said, they attacked Shepherd with Pell, even on that that right, short corner early off of out of bounds play. And then once they didn't have him to attack, like you said, they went to Shingun in the pick and roll. I mean, because he's so slow-footed that if he challenges, he can't get back to the dunker, or you know what I mean. Otherwise, it's going to be an open lane for Wiggs. So I like that they had a plan as well. But again, you just hope that it's not matchup dependent and something they can continue to go to as they look to try to do something in the East. I mean, to whose pleasure or not, but you know they're not going to stop trying to win. So, I mean, I just hope that they can continue to explode with the double big lineup. And it's important to mention, and you got to just say what you're seeing. When Ware plays, when he finishes games, it usually looks better than when he doesn't. So I think that's definitely something that they have to continue to lean into.
I think that's correlation and causation, though, because if he's closing the game, he's probably playing well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that he doesn't.
I get it.
Wasn't. And by the way, 47 rebounds to 47 rebounds. That's one of Houston's offensive rebounds, one of Houston's biggest strengths. Miami was able to level that playing field. Miami on the night had 14 offensive rebounds. Houston had 15, right? So you played that to about a push. That's what the double bigs are for, right? Like they're to control that and Houston's physicality. And I thought, credit to Ware. I thought he was on Şengün. I thought he did a really good job. There were some big defensive possessions in the third and fourth quarter where Şengün cannot get as close as he wants to the basket. And I thought Ware, with his length, has really good contests, stayed down on fakes, moved on all the spin, like moved correctly on all the spins and everything, was really, really disciplined. And I think it's tough when you're big if your big jumps or if your big kind of gets beat, you're kind of cooked, right? It's really hard to make up for that, even if your help rotations are on point and really crisp. But he was exceptional today. Just individual one-on-one stuff. He was really good today. And again, we've talked about kind of Miami's late help and all that stuff and how good that was today. So credit to him. And I don't disagree with you on some of the Ware stuff. By the way, finished the night 13 and 15, 6 of 10 from the field, which is huge. I want to talk about the other center tonight, Bam, who was real fucking leader today, again on the court. 24, 11, 9 of 17 shooting, led the team in field goals, which, by the way, that's what we've been asking all the time. We want that guy. Like, hey, buddy, shoot more. Buddy, how about you? I'm going to play the clip of what he said the other day after when they lost to Philadelphia. And I think he responded.
Yeah, I don't want to be more. We're better than being in the play-in for the last 4 years.
7 of the next 8 at home. How important is it to capitalize on this upcoming schedule here where you're home for the next Sunday stretch?
Protect home court. We already been struggling on the road, so we go home, win some games, be in our atmosphere, be in our habitat where our fans are cheering for us, and see if we can string some W's together.
He looks so fucking dejected. And the fact everybody, when he did that, you saw it on Twitter. Everybody was like, I don't want to hear it, dude. I don't want to fucking hear from you. And I was the same. I didn't want to hear from him. I didn't care. I was like, you haven't been a good team in forever. I have to do the show with Mr. Positivity, Omar. And, I was just like, I don't want to hear from any of you people. He's smiling in the bottom camera. That's so funny. And he responded. That's another night where he is kind of the primary fuck it, give me the ball kind of guy. I don't know how long that'll last, but it's certainly it's a sight for eyes.
You mentioned you don't know how long it'll last, but in the last 2 games specifically, what has been noticeably different from Bam for me is he's doing a thing attacking off the dribble downhill. Yes. That he's playing the way that he's played sporadically across the rest of his career. Like we might see it once a game, one and a half times every other game, whatever. But in the last 2 games specifically, he's had a mindset to attack off the dribble. And I'm gonna tell you what else. That's that fake and step through and finish that he's been doing over the last 4 or 5 games. He's really unlocked something there, which is a good counter to his his fade or jump shot, however he wants to deploy it. I think that, with the mentality he's showing, he is pissed off if you pair it with the statement. So, yes, it was a great response from the statement. Absolutely, absolutely. Not settling for the midi, getting downhill, getting to the cup, making stuff happen with his athletic, strong self. And as Friday always likes to mention, he's faster than most anybody they're going to put in front of him. So once he, get his bearings about him, get his feet where he wants him to be, and get busy going downhill, there are a few guys that are going to be able to stop what he has going on. And we're going to get to the broadcast, I'm sure. But the guy said, like a ball of steak knives, nobody wants to stay in front of him. I said, oh, my Lord. Anyway.
What does that mean, bro?
Hey, bro.
What the fuck does that mean? We have stuff for them later.
I guess it means you're going to get cut. But listen, if Bam continues to play, I don't know if you guys mentioned it on the last show, and I hate to go back to the 76 game. That was a loss. But he had a Euro step dunk on somebody. Those type of moves, or the moves where he's, just handling his business, going through guys off the dribble. That's the type of Bam we need to continue to see. And I hope this pissed off mentality continues if that's what it's going to provoke.
I think he dunked on Bona.
Yeah.
And we talked. We fucking detonated on him, and he played well that day. But again, nobody kind of stepped up around him. But again, I think, okay, one of the things with me with this team is I think this is one of the best games that they've played all season. I thought their game plan was really good. I thought the effort was good. They didn't shoot the ball that well today, and I don't give a fuck because I thought the process was good. I thought the rotations made sense. They didn't ride lineups too long. I thought the decisions made sense, even when they didn't always work. I thought they made, and I thought most of the decisions worked today. I loved, and I tweeted about this, and I talked about this already. I love Fontecchio with the two bigs with Wiggins to kind of help give a little size and ball handling with Giancarlo to give a little extra kind of pizzazz to the lineup. They put Drew Smith in at one point with that 2 lineup, which again, ball handling, more defense, hit a big 3. I know Musabai was punching air. I think today was I was more impressed today with how they played than the Thunder game, because the Thunder game, Oklahoma City was struggling, and I felt that some of that stuff felt a little fluky. I thought today, I'm like, you look at the performances and you're like, a lot of this is like replicable. Nobody did anything that was too grandiose. Even Jaquez, who had a really, really good game. What did he finish with? 14 points. And I thought he was 58% from the field today. I thought he was really, really good. And he put his stamp on the game, but it's not like anybody exploded for 35, 40, whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just so high on this win because it feels like they should be able to build off it. And this is kind of like what, you imagine how good they could be. This is the group that you imagine. Their issue is that none of these guys, these performances, they're not consistent. Jaquez can't do that every night. Bam can't do this every night. Okay, I've always said this. Dwayne Wade never had a bad game. We watched that guy, and he never had a bad game. And these guys have a lot of bad games. And of course, that's the difference between a first ballot Hall of Famer, top 25 players of all time, and these guys. But man, it'd be nice if you have
these guys, Jesus. Wow.
It's chill if you have if you have one bad game a week, that's fine. But it can't be you can't have one good game a week or 2. If you have 2 good games a week, we're like, oh man, or one good stretch in the season. I need to see, I need to see some real. They talk a lot of what did Spo say the other day? Because that bothered me, and I'm being hard on them after a win because I want them to succeed and I want them to stack things on each other. But Eric said winning has to be the bottom line. Take it or leave it, like it or not. That's what the Miami Heat is all about. We're competing to win, and I'm like, how is that going for you? How's that going for you? But with a win like today, I'm like, okay, you got a fucking great win against a legitimate team that if they won the title, it's not surprising. Kevin Durant still fucking got it, and I want to see them build on this.
So it's funny that you spat in Spo's face while using a Spoism to set it up. He said, I want to see them stacking things. You wanted to say stacking wins. I knew it was there. I heard it almost coming out, but you caught
your parents ever did that shit to you? They never use your own language against you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You gotta
you make it make sense.
Parents,
I get
bro.
what you're saying.
Immigrant parents,
Go ahead, bro. That's a topic I'm not going to touch, especially after you told us what KD has been up to all morning. But anyway,
hey man, hey man,
look,
some shots didn't miss.
Whoa, that's crazy. I wonder where they autopiloted.
Why do I only do that with you? I literally I do these inappropriate jokes. It's only with you. I don't do that with Kyle. I don't do that with Siobhan. Don't do that with Frankie. Don't do it with Lou. I don't know what it is about you that brings it out of me.
We're gonna have to send that to the research department. Katie hitting bombs from downtown.
Not. I mean, 2 AA for 3. Not really.
Way downtown. But
this is bad, man.
This is terrible.
This is how we get. This is how we get.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're anti. Our stance on Miami Heat is we're anti-war. We're anti.
Yeah, absolutely.
Conflict. Yeah, we're anti-armed conflict. I think we're 100%.
Hey, look, man, this is a very interesting news day, but that's at the end of the day. Listen, back to the consistent thing. I think that's why the 76ers performance by Bam is very important. You see, I'm trying to move on really, really fast because right now I'm getting bothered. Yeah. I think I hear knocking my door. They already on to us. Anyway, so I mean, you just hope that. Hey, man,
throw you from the roof.
It's a lot of wild stuff going on, man.
Bro, that's the most online shit I've said in like forever, bro. If you guys don't know about the CIA guy, please just go on Instagram or something and just put CIA guy and watch the videos. I've been obsessed, bro.
Jesus.
There hasn't been another 9/11. That one killed me, bro. That punchline, that was the funniest one.
What a day for you to make that reference, but I'm gonna leave it there.
Because of Şengün?
What are you saying, man? What are you saying, bro?
What was your point?
Nothing. Look, Spo wants the team to be everybody eats. Like Spo wants it to be a buffet. So do you really? I mean, as far as the offense goes, when you say
hummus,
wait, the hummus, bro, the hummus. So if they can just consistently get production from somebody, outside of I guess Norm whenever he comes back from the groin injury, then they should be at least competitive because, like you said, they're not a terrible team. It's just that they don't have any defined means of going about things when the game is coming to a close.
I agree. Wanted to talk about the broadcast a little. Actually, no, let's do Herro and then we'll talk about the broadcast because Tyler started today, which we have. I don't think we've wanted that very much, but he started today, and again another good game. I think he's had. I think every game he's played has been good this season. I think for the most part, maybe there's one or two that hasn't. He hasn't played a lot. How many games has he played? Ollie, could you find out how many games Tyler Herro has played this season? It can't be more than. Has he played more than 20 games? We're in game 6. It's 61.
14. I think
we're in game 61. Today was game 61. He played 16 games according to our producer Omar. And I think probably 15 or 14 of them have been really good. Again, today wasn't the star. Didn't take over down the stretch, but I thought that's the kind of game he could have. Like 18 points, hit some threes. Really, there was a moment in the third, fourth where he kind of took the scoring load and really kind of brought that, like, bridged two lineups that were like really positive for Miami, got them through a little rough patch. And I think that's who he should be. I think he's a good player. I think he's probably the best ball handler on the team right now, and I think he's probably one of the more underrated passers, the best shooter off the dribble that they have. And I think they should harness those strengths instead of forcing him to be this high volume, high usage creator.
I agree, but I think that also like leans into the fact why he probably would be better suited for, this Miami Heat team coming off the bench and being that seamless guy that plays the same amount of minutes or close to the amount of minutes as a starter because it allows him to do that thing that you said, be the bridge between lineups, be the bridge between lows and scoring, but at the same time, be able to operate in a manner where he's not always out front, the focal point, the arrow of the defense. And to be quite honest, not always playing 5 starters who are going to attack him and try to be overly physical with him. Something that you saw going on early and often today in this game against Houston. So, no, I think it's the perfect role for him. And I think you saw him almost lean into a more, not a less passive, that's the wrong word, but a more decisive game from the onset. I don't think he took his first shot until maybe like 4 or 5 minutes into the game. So you just saw all of that being expressed with how he let the game come to him today. But I want to say, which was impressive and which also spurred him along, just like, Wiggins' performance after getting hit in the face, I guess one and the same, but differently, assaults, that back and forth and the way that they were going right at each other and not backing down to any of the physicality or backing down to any of the trash talk, that definitely helped the Miami Heat propel themselves to a win on Saturday.
I love that, by the way, and I think like they need some edge to them, and I think when they don't have edge, you can't be like this fucking culture team, hardest working, but when you don't have fucking edge, bro, like talk some shit. Play with it. Like Myron Gardner cannot be the only edge you have on your team. Who did not play today?
True.
I mean, he would have given KD a piece of his mind. I'll tell you that.
No, I'm sure he was telling them all sorts of things, but
Eric was protecting Durant. I mean, we had the Durant going to Tyler, just right in his face after Houston took the lead. Pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. He calls him a bad word that we're not gonna repeat. And then they kind of get into it. Both of them kind of get into it over here, which I like, bro. I like Tyler talking shit. I like him talking shit. I like them getting separated. I like there being a little, you know what I mean? A little edge, a little hate never hurt anybody.
I mean, especially when you're the Miami Heat team that find yourself not trying hard enough or not playing hard enough according to your captain and your coach, or when it seems like, you're not up to the challenge, or you, I know what Burners you run says, Omar in the chat. But I mean, when you're talking about a Miami Heat team that find themselves unmotivated at times, I think that you have to play with that type of edge and physicality too. I mean, you got to get yourself involved in the game one way or another. And you can't just have one dude doing it, like you said, Myron Gardner. Now, Norm will talk a little trash, but Norm's more politician than fighter. Like, Norm will talk enough trash, and then once they get right up to the, he'll walk away or smile or whatever. But I think Norm will get involved if it really went there. Wiggs is so quiet. So you got to have Tyler Herro doing it, man. I mean, he's the only one that
Bam don't talk shit. Bam's everybody's friend.
Right. I was going to say Bam too friendly with everybody, dog.
Bam too nice.
Don't say it like that, bro.
He's too nice, bro. He just wants to be. Bam is a dude that if you get beat up, like, Bam's friends with everybody. And if you get beat up, Bam's not going to help you because he's like, the guy beating you up is also his homie.
My dog, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, oh, man, that's crazy. Shows up in fifth period being like, yo, that's fucked up. Then talks to the other guy. Oh, man, you got him, He's just everybody's friend, and he doesn't want to ruin that.
And so he bigged the other dude up for his right hook, but then he come make sure your eye good. That's crazy.
He's like, damn, man, yeah, just lay low. He tells the other guy, lay low. Like, lay low.
I'll bring my shades if you need them.
I love Bam, bro. He's so nice. Everybody likes him. Everybody fucking loves Bam.
Like the scene from Friday. Like, you want some of me, old man?
Yeah, literally. So I like that Tyler is doing it. I mean, and I think we have a couple Tyler plays here. I mean, he looked really good today. I think the handling and I like this play too. I'm gonna bring that back for a second because I like where Tyler catches the ball here. So Wiggins is running the action. He gets kind of stuck in the middle of the paint there, and Tyler's gonna catch the ball pretty deep. And I like that they're using those catches with him and Hawkins to like get ahead of steam. And he's going to close that gap. So he does have an open pull-up that I like that he doesn't settle for. There's 9 on the clock. I think it would be a totally reasonable shot to put up. But he goes, right? He just goes. Oh, he does take the pull-up. Excuse me. I thought this was a different. I thought this was a different.
Hey man, he made it. He made it.
That's so funny. I thought, I thought that was a different play. I was like, yeah, he's gonna shoot the gap. I was like, I love that, and I even said I was like, that's a perfectly reasonable one to take. That's so fucking funny. Oh my god, I thought he was gonna take the gap. Well,
but let's note the timing. Hey, man, so second quarter, 4 minutes.
The point stands. And he just looked really good. Just attacking off the dribble, getting to the pull up. Oversized, like shot that over KD. That's huge. Just positive day from Tyler Herro.
Oh no, that was good. That was a really good make right there. I like that one. The second one, but I noted the time because, like I said, he was setting him up with the shot. He had just made one a couple possessions before. Mm-hmm. So then, like I said, once because he kind of hit him with a hesitation before he started to go down here to get to that midi too. So, he was setting it up, man. You want early, you just won't right yet. Let's put it like that. But to the point of that second shot, I really like that one because back to the physicality, man. One thing about Tyler Herro, we've said defense just to be general, but it's been that other people have physically challenged him. And you think back to like what the Cavaliers did last season in the playoffs, how they just kind of consistently went on, and what the Celtics have done in the past, leaning on him, putting the physical pressure on him, make him get up in there and play with him on the defensive end. Like from a close perspective, you like to see him be able to exert some of his physical will, or at the same time not back down from what's being presented to him. Because as we know throughout the game, and as you showed with that clip where KD called him a piece of anatomy, they were going at each other, and he wanted to show KD that he was there, not just from I'm a talk it perspective, but I can make a big shot, and I can make a big shot through contact, and probably what you would have got called a foul on.
I appreciate that. Like I appreciate that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The wherewithal, the agency to do that, which I think is important for this group. Let's talk a little bit about the broadcast. Because I think it's Heat's first game on Amazon, right? Am I correct?
In this capacity, in midday, like in a primetime standalone spot.
Yeah.
I think they've had one, like, in a random weeknight where Prime got a game. They
threw you
a
bone.
We'll
tournament game, an in-season tournament game. Yeah,
that too. UD works for as hell. Put them on.
But we got the prime time. Yeah, we had a game against the Knicks. But today, I think this was Dwayne's first game on the broadcast. I don't know. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because they haven't been on Prime a lot, and I think it's one of the biggest TV partners, the new TV partners for the league. And I just really like Dwayne and Udonis. I think Dwayne and Udonis are fantastic together. Chat says that the other game was on NBC. I don't even know. Am I going crazy? I thought this was their first game on Amazon. Am I wrong, chat? Can somebody tell me? I need to know, because the other one I did believe was a Peacock or NBC game. The mini game was NBC. Okay, well, whatever. I'm going crazy, but I like the broadcast. I like Del Curry. I'm a Del Curry fan. Don't love the other guy, but I like Del Curry. I was confused by the British guy on the sideline.
It was very interesting. Like I don't think I had mentioned it to you. Like I was very not confused isn't a good word, but I was intrigued. I saw him interviewing Alperen Sengun early before the game, and I was like, okay, cool. They got this little overseas flair. Maybe this is because of the time of day. It's being simulcast in Turkey or something. I'm like, and they're giving us a little European flair on an interviewer. But then, like I said, as he continued to interview everybody, I was like, oh, no, this is his job, full-time, regular. So it was just interesting, as you mentioned, to, hear a guy of his accent be the sideline reporter. Nothing's wrong with it. Like we're saying, it's just interesting. And he was familiar. He wasn't like, unfamiliar. He didn't ask, anybody anything in a what's the word I want to say? A non-cool way, for lack of better terms. Had a little swag on him.
What do you mean by that?
What you mean?
What do you mean by that, bruv?
Like, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There were no bruvs exchange. You know what I'm saying? He didn't ask anybody if they, saw a little bit of space in the paint. He said it as if, these people would understand it. I'm joking.
But I would have liked him to be like, that was class. Class match that.
Like you wanted to call it like a soccer match.
Class dunk that. Proper dunk that.
I don't think he had the opportunity to do that, man.
Bro, I
think that would have been the other dude that you didn't like, the racially ambiguous guy that was working beside Dale Carey. That would have been a line for him. Oh, and I didn't mind the broadcast. I liked it. I thought his colorful metaphors were on time. I thought he tried it. He went, he shot his shot on a couple of them. Like, you didn't know what a ball of steak knives meant. When I heard it, I knew exactly what he meant. I didn't say it was good, but I think he also said that shot was as soft as a butterfly with sore feet. I said, what?
Word?
Yeah, I mean, where is he going with this stuff? But he's trying. Like I said, my only thing was it was a little weird seeing his face after hearing him speak all that. I was like, okay.
Dude, I had the experience where, so I watched Liverpool play this morning, and I haven't done anything. My girlfriend went to a brunch, and I just didn't really have much to do today. And I just kind of sat on the sofa and planned a vacation that we're taking. And I had Premier League on all day. And then this game was at 3:30, and I flipped it on, and I'm not looking, but the volume's on, and I'm like doing something else. And I hear this British guy, and I'm like,
Did I turn the channel?
Is there another Prem game? And I see this guy talking to Sengun, and I was like, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if this was a Manchester City Leeds recap or something. I was like, what's going on?
You thought your TV was still on accent, and the guy that was real voice.
No,
like
I thought I was on Peacock with the slate of, I was like, they're a late game today. Did I miss?
Is this Telemundo? What's going on? No, I'm joking.
Dude, that shit was funny. I enjoyed. I like when they play. I like that. I like these new partners. I like it. It's a nice coat of paint, and I think it breaks up, for me as a fan, it breaks up the monotony a little bit. I love Eric. I don't love karate, but I love Eric, and it's just nice to get like a little something different,
So to your point, I agree with you. I like the fact that we have different presentations and different ways of seeing and experiencing, NBA broadcasts across this season. But what I'm gonna tell you, and it's funny you bring this up, or we, find ourselves so intrigued with the announcers and the commentators today, because I found myself the other night, or the other evening, and I know some love them or hate them, and they're not for everybody. But I miss NBA on TNT. Like, I don't think we get enough of them right now. Like, bro, like,
don't tell Nikias. Don't tell Nikias now.
Oh, my bad, bro. He's not an NBA and TNT guy.
He hates him. He hates him because I think rightfully Nikias wants the actual on
wholesome, pure content.
No, like he wants him to care about the game.
Well, that's what I mean.
They don't watch the games. Yeah. Right. Like,
and they constantly throw that in your face. I agree. And I guess that's why I said love them or hate them, but I just found myself missing them. But to that point,
I do too, for the record. And whatever ESPN's done with them, it's been bad.
Yeah, put them in the back of the file cabinet, roll them out.
What does ESPN do well? What does ESPN do well?
I mean, the college football playoffs is a success.
Okay, so they're good at college football, and they're good at they're okay. They used to be better at tennis, but they're okay at tennis. Their soccer coverage is eh. What are they good at?
They cover a lot of women's sports.
Not even the good one. The women's soccer is on Paramount a lot of time. I love the women's national soccer team, and there's on Paramount.
Also, professional women's soccer is on USA or something, right?
Yeah, and WSL is on ESPN. Yeah. I don't know if the WNBA might be on ESPN.
Well, no,
Unrivaled on Turner, and I think that's a really good broadcast.
I think they do broadcast women's soccer on Sundays, though. I think women's sports Sundays.
Is it NWSL? It might be NWSL.
Okay. But I mean, I'm not trying to.
I watch American football, American footy. I watch Liverpool women play in the Women's Premier League.
Hey man, above my pay grade.
Above your pay grade. Yeah, people are complaining about ESPN. They have La Liga. They do have La Liga.
Okay. See, there you go.
But they don't have Dwayne. They don't have Dwayne Wade, because Amazon Prime has Dwayne Wade, and I love him there. Dripped out. I love his outfits, and I love Udonis, and they're great.
Now, what I'll say about Dwayne Wade is he has dual duties. Like, you might see him calling the game from the sidelines, or you might see him in studio. I don't think we've seen. Has Udonis been assigned? Yeah, has Udonis been assigned an actual game Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think he's mostly in studio. I think
Right,
he's
definitely.
the best in studio guy though. He's always there, bro. I feel like Dirk and Steve are like rotating, and some of the and Blake Griffin rotates. I feel like Udonis is always there. I've never watched a game on Prime and Udonis is not there.
I feel like it's a lot of Blake and a lot of UD and a lot of the rotating other guys.
Yeah, because other guys like Dirk is like, I got shit to do. You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
Dirk,
man.
Dirk and Steve Nash, you know, they got shit to do. But I think Blake Griffin would have shit to do too, but I just thought it's fine. So I don't know, just a quick aside on the broadcast. And of course we got to bring you, did you work on that shot? We can't end the show. We're gonna bring in Omar for this, and we'll talk about the shots that people may or may not have worked on.
What kind of shot is that?
No. Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No.
Whoa.
Have you ever shot that shot?
Looking for Steph. Now Draymond's got it. What did he do that for? Draymond.
Do you work on that shot?
Yes! Oh!
When?
It's Cody Martin, you gotta hit it! Oh!
Step back, one leg in there.
Tabariani! What is he doing?
What kind of shot is that?
Hi, Omar.
Hello. Welcome, guys. Should we just jump right into it? Because we've got some doozies.
Are you feeling happy today? I mean, that's a big win. You know, you don't want to tank. You're always team win every game.
I've got some thoughts. We'll talk about it.
Before we get into DWA, I
Okay.
have to say one thing. I don't know if anybody's noticed the little logo on the top right corner right now. Prize Picks is back, baby. Prize Picks is back. Promo code HeatBeat and get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineups. Whether you played the big game, whether you're playing Premier League football, tennis season's in full swing, basketball season, the app is so easy to download. Get on your phone, bro. Download the app on your phone. It's fun to play. You can do it anytime. There's a lot of different things to do. And by the way, it helps the show. If you download
and
Prize
all you
Picks
gotta do
today,
is have a little skill, because these are skill games.
it's a skill game, and you play to win. And
It's just like solitaire. It's like solitaire.
It's just like solitaire. It feels good to be right. Lord knows our old intern Pablo. He plays Pablo he's having so much fun playing Prize Picks that he's playing Australian soccer because he needs to play at that hour of the night as well as cricket. So that's.
I was going to ask about the cricket. So he's playing no more or lessers, huh?
There's everything.
More or lessers.
There's everything. And then college basketball and college football, you know, that's always fun. So download Prize Picks today and use code HeatBeat to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HeatBeat to get $50 in lineups after you get your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All righty then. Shout out to Prize Picks.
Good old Prize Picks, man.
What's our first one here, Omar? What do we got here?
So we've got Tyler doing a step back, almost one-legged, but it's early in the shot clock. Tyler's like, I'm him. I'm gonna take step backs. 2 step backs.
That looked
early
good
in the shot clock.
I want to run that back.
You guys.
That looked good though. But he does work on that. He works on that. That looked good, man. I felt good about that look.
That was better than the one fading to the right corner where it felt like he traveled in Philly. I know y'all hit that one on D-Wise. I know y'all did.
Yep. That one was wild.
That one looked like a good one.
We have a Reed Shepherd doink. He's a good 3-point shooter. He works on the shot, but if you hear the sound, which we're not playing, boom, you heard an atomic eruption the way that it hit the rim.
Careful,
so I was
like, happening in the world. Just careful.
Hey, buddy.
Be careful.
You're not with KD on that court.
Be careful.
Ooh, God, that was a doink right there. And then it made me wonder, does he work on that shot? Because normally he does. Now here, this is wild. Let me just let it play. I'm not even going to talk about it. Look at this.
Yeah, Şengün's on the nastiest air ball on the fadeaway.
Ooh.
That shit.
That was way up there. That was like drone-like.
Brother,
you can't let Hawkes defend you like that, Şengün. You cannot let Hawkes defend.
My friend,
you cannot let Hawkes defend you like that, big dog. You cannot.
This is just good God.
Just very disappointed in Şengün. Okay,
And then
yeah.
last one, we have a Bam heat check early in the shot. Just for funsies, just early in the shot clock, 13 seconds left. There were plays to be made. Bam just wanted to say, "Am I Michael Jordan?" And
I don't mind that.
Never
I
hurts to ask.
I gotta be honest with you. I didn't mind any of either heat shot on D-Watt today. I didn't mind him. I in the moment, I was like, you know what, fair play.
Norm
Now,
wasn't in
to
the
be
game,
fair-
so Bam decided to take Norm shots.
Now, during this segment, I just want to the philosophy of do you work on that shot? Like, yes, sometimes it is great. We'll refine magic in a bottle, and there will be a shot that clearly someone does not work on that they will take. But they can't all be winners, guys. I'm doing my best. I'm trying, Jennifer. Okay.
I love how we have Ollie and our assistant producers like he technically does work on those.
I know Ollie's giving me shit in the background. Anyways.
Oh, by
so
the way,
that
we have an update on Tyler and Durant from the press conference. Tyler on him and Durant dapping post game. He said we're competing at the end of the day. He was saying I couldn't guard him. Then I said something to him. We're competing at the end of the day. You want to be able to play against the best and compete like that. That's what I live for. I love to compete. I love that. Happy ending to the Kevin Durant Tyler Herro beef.
Absolutely. I mean, he didn't need any more bad press today. I promise.
if I can just get my quick thoughts on the game to put some positivity, no hope trafficking, just honest thoughts real quick.
Yes, you have 30 seconds.
Yes, permission, coach. So we talked about the Bam blow by that happened on Embiid where he dunked and then it was like on top of Bona. That has continued in this game. We do love that. My favorite game was not this one. I believe you talked about this being your favorite game because you thought the OKC one was a bit fluky. I thought the game against the Pistons on the road, we cannot forget about that one. I thought that
didn't they blow a huge lead in that one, and they held on.
We won. Anyway, so that Pistons game on the road that we won against the number one seed.
Am I getting that right? Is that one that they had like a really big lead?
They made it interesting. It wasn't like 20 points or anything. It was. No,
I'm asking questions.
I think it was like 16 though.
I'm asking questions.
Yes,
I just want
they made it scary. But I told G that like Khalil earlier in the year, like when Spo stopped playing Bam and Khalil together, that's Spo's way of saying it's not you, it's me, but it will come back around. And I think Spo realized, you know what, it is me. And Khalil has earned the right to close. We talked about that with Kay and I 2 podcasts ago. And based off of the way he's been playing the last few weeks and doing the things that Spo most of the time is asking him to do, and he closed tonight. Bam on his relationship with Khalil, quote, he listens to me. Sometimes he listens to Spo, end quote. And I think that sometimes is more frequent. So I had no idea, by the way, that NBA teams had dental staff on site with anesthetics. That's crazy. And my last point here to close for me is Tyler's growth as a ball handler. If you guys remember the season after the bubble, when they tried starting him at point guard for a little bit, we talked about like he would need to work on, his handles. And then we talked about him like bulking up, getting into the paint and finishing. This is like, Tyler today has really shown like he's kind of put it all together. We have our issues with him, but in terms of the things that we've asked him, aside from on the defensive end, however, he is, not a terrible gambler on steals, but like he's getting in the paint more. He's not getting to the free throw line. Correct. He's not getting to the free throw line as much, but he awkward drives once he gets in to the paint, and he's built his muscle and his ball handling has allowed him to do that. So it's like solitaire, y'all.
It's like solitaire, y'all. Yeah. So
promo code he beat.
Big sounds impressive.
No one's got any thoughts on anything I just said. All right, guys. Cool.
I feel. You know what I was gonna say.
We agree.
You recapped the show. It was like a little recap. You know what it felt like? It felt like the CM super chats where he gets off like every point that we're gonna talk about. That's kind of felt like you just kind of like.
Except he did it after the show, in which we already talked about it, and he commentated throughout the show in the private chat about that's a great point. Yeah, thanks, pal. Don't come over here.
You know what it is?
Again, and then get mad when we don't
hold on, Omar. Before you go, my favorite part was Omar being like, "I want to say my favorite win." I love you, bro. I love you.
I think no, it was the best win. I was arguing like
win,
what the best win of them, like like in terms of challenges and.
No, I think the best win is the Thunder, but I think the quality of play in the win, I would say it's this game.
Heard.
I would say it's. This
it was
game.
like I wrote all of these takes down before we started the pod. So when you guys started going through my takes, I was like, "Those aren't your ideas; they're my ideas. These are my takes." I was
and
like,
they're also CM 200.1's ideas.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, man. CM is not as optimistic as I am, but this team. Listen, man. The reason we all get so disappointed, especially chat, during these games, is because we have higher expectations for this team. I know everyone loves to say that this roster sucks; they're not any good. But if that was the case, we wouldn't be so dejected. We would feel like Bulls fans after wins. We'd be like, or after losses, we'd be like,
because the Bulls have a direction. They're that organization picked the direction.
Do they have a direction?
Yeah. The directions to the bottom of the standings.
Right, but we wouldn't be as frustrated during the losses then.
No, yes, we'd actually welcome them because there's a direction. The problem is that they're win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one. Listen, today's a happy day. Today's a happy day. They beat a good team. They played really well. We made fun of Eric Collins, who I just learned his name from Lenny Lester in chat, who called the game with Del Curry. And yeah, man. So don't let go of the rope. We're on again. I believe the next game is Tuesday. We have the Brooklyn back-to-back. They have
Isn't a home and home?
Yeah, they have a Tuesday and a Thursday game against Brooklyn, and then they have a back-to-back. I hate back-to-backs. Adam Silver's never seen it happen. So three-game week next week. Big win. Thank you to Kay. Thank you to Omar. Thank you to Prize Picks. Thank you to Ollie. Thank you to everybody in chat. Thank you to CM201. I would say thank you to Twitch, but no Twitch subs today. No, a big win and no Twitch subs today. Shame. Don't think I don't notice these things. Omar, I'm sorry. No, you can't eat tonight. I don't know what to tell you. I'd K YouTube, so I'm sorry.
No soup?
Yeah, so blame Twitch chat. I'm sorry. No.
May
no
I
soup.
have another?
No. Twitch chat said no. Twitch chat said you don't get to eat. So tell your dog that another day of no food. I apologize to your pup. So Omar starving. Chat, I love you, except for Twitch. You can still salvage it. And we'll see you next week for Heat Nets.